The secret to managing all of these things is not more medicine and surgery, it's less. It's actually within our grasp because fasting is, they say, you are what you eat. But what if your food is slowly killing you? Studies are now linking certain ingredients to cancer development, and yet these foods are still everywhere. The scariest part, you're probably eating them right now without even knowing it. Dr. Jason Fung has pointed out 3 key foods that should be removed from your daily diet. If you are serious about preventing cancer, these 3 foods aid cancer in its rapid growth, also contributing to inflammation and overall poor health. Removing them can drastically boost your chances of staying cancer-free. So let's have a look at these foods and see how we can control cancer development. Sort of sugar is probably one of the very, very important things that we cause that really supports it, and it gets to how cancer develops. A lot of the refined foods, and people talk in the most that we eat, like the one thing we eat more than anything else, tends to be refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates, including white bread, pasta, white rice, and anything made from refined flour, are among the most dangerous foods when it comes to cancer growth. These foods break down rapidly into glucose, causing a spike in insulin levels, the primary growth hormone that signals cells to multiply. This insulin surge creates an environment where cancer cells can thrive as they rely on a constant supply of glucose to survive and expand. Sugar, which is a major component of refined carbs, acts like fuel for these harmful cells, making processed foods like sodas, candies, and baked goods even more dangerous. The constant consumption of these high glycemic foods not only triggers chronic inflammation, but also puts the body in a state of rapid cell growth, exactly what cancer needs to spread. Cutting down on refined carbohydrates and switching to whole unprocessed foods like quinoa, brown rice, and fiber-rich vegetables can help regulate blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and deprive cancer cells of their primary energy. And source, significantly lowering the risk of cancer development. So, even if you're not talking about carbohydrates, but refined to, say oils, you should eat natural oils, like eat foods that are sort of in the natural state. The third product on this list is refined and processed oil, which should be removed from the diet. Vegetable oils like soybean oil, corn oil, and canola oil are heavily processed. And often contain harmful trans fats. These fats promote systemic inflammation, which is related to cancer development. There are healthy alternatives like olive oil, coconut oil, and avocado oil. They do not cause inflammation and contain essential fats. And refined meats, like eating bologna, for example, people talk about meat all the time, but there's a big difference between the bologna and, grass-finished meats or things. There's a huge difference because one is jam-packed full of chemicals and other crap. And one is just deep, right? And people have been eating beef for thousands of years. The fourth food on the list is processed meat, which also feeds cancer cells. And this has to go from your diet. Food such as sausages, ham, bacon, and delimates are rich in chemicals, preservatives, and nitrates, which have been linked to colon and stomach cancer. Such processed meats are classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization, primarily because they are linked to cancer. Picking high-quality grass-fed animal meat should be your top priority to reduce the consumption of harmful additives. Lastly, the habit of eating and snacking all day long should be reconsidered. Constantly eating causes insulin levels to stay elevated. Even if you are munching on snacks, it also keeps your body from entering the fasting state in which the body starts repairing and removing damaged cells. Cancer cells flourish on a constant supply of nutrients, and by reducing the number of meals and adopting intermittent fasting, a less favorable environment can be developed for cancer cells. It is crucial to understand how cancer cells develop. These cells evolve like a different species in the body, acting purely in their own self-interest. They are entirely opposite of healthy cells. Cancer cells break away, grow at a much faster speed, and take control of other areas as well. They work by acting on the growth signals, and these signals are mainly released by the food that we eat and how often eat 6-8 times a day. You're telling your body, you're selling in your body, grow, 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 grow. If you eat fewer times, like 3 times a day, or you're doing intermittent fasting, if you don't eat at all, what you're going to do is shut down those growth signals, and the cancer will have a more difficult time to grow. So if you grow breast cancer cells in the lab, for example, you can't do it without insulin. It will actually litter up and die. Today's modern diet is based on frequent meals, sugary snacks, and processed. This sets a helpful stage for cancer to flourish in our bodies. Decades ago, people used to have regular 3 meals a day with no snacks in between. As a result, the rates of obesity and metabolic diseases were significantly lower. In today's world, we are surrounded by constant snacking and eating without following a proper schedule. This is leading to chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart issues. But before we continue, this content is provided for informational purposes only and is not an institute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions about your health or a medical condition. This entire problem can be solved with the incorporation of intermittent fasting into our daily lives. When an individual fasts, insulin levels drop and the body moves towards a state that repairs damaged cells and reduces inflammation. Cancer cells find it hard to survive in this situation. In fact, the research studies show that fasting limits the body's contact with excessive growth signals. As a result, the risk of developing cancer is significantly reduced. Moreover, the high intake of vitamins and supplements may not be as useful as it might seem. Rather, studies have shown that high doses of certain vitamins, such as beta-carotene and folic acid, can actually lead to cancer risk. The much better alternative to these synthetic supplements is natural sources of vitamins and minerals. Focusing on a diet packed with whole nutrient-based foods can aid in gaining vitamins in their natural form. It's really bad for you when you give high doses in these studies. You do get certain ones for folic acid, for example, and beta-carotene, which is a precursor to vitamin A. In those 2 studies, there is actually a suggestion that you actually get more cancer from that. In the end, it all comes down to the diet. What we eat will determine the results in our bodies. Switching to a healthy diet can bring significant changes to the body. Eliminating sugar, refined carbs, processed oils, and processed meals will drop the insulin level. Pairing it up with a reduced number of meals in a day can drastically show positive changes. Acting on these steps will lower insulin levels, reduce inflammation, and create an intense environment for cancer cells. They will not be able to source energy anymore, and hence they will begin. Our bodies are designed to heal themselves, but we must take the necessary actions to start the healing process. There have been research studies that showed how sugar plays a key role in causing cancer. A cancer review published in Interdisciplinary Cancer Research found the relationship between sugar and cancer The study concluded that high sugar consumption, particularly from sugary beverages, is associated with an increased risk of certain types of cancer, such as breast and prostate cancer. The study also highlighted the impacts caused by inflammation. These are known to contribute to cancer. Similarly, an article published by Science Alert discussed a 9-year project that concluded the process of how cancer cells metabolize sugar. The article highlighted the Warburg effect, in which cancer cells consume sugar at a much higher rate than normal cells, which potentially results in encouraging tumor growth. Before we continue, if you're eager to explore more on how your diet can reduce your cancer risk and enhance your overall health, don't miss out on our Vitacine Health newsletter. Sign up using the link below and get weekly updates packed with expert tips, mouth-watering recipes, and practical advice to help you live longer and feel amazing, all delivered straight to your inbox. Diet can really bring in a drastic change when it comes to cancer. Instead of choosing what to remove, consider what should be added to a diet. Vegetables that grow above ground, kind of like alternatives to starchy carbs, such as potatoes and rice, and they can be served as excellent side dishes. Beans are also a great source of vegetarian protein. They are delicious and nutritious at the same time and can be used in a variety of dishes. Tofu is another perfect alternative, providing high quality protein while being low in inflammatory compounds, so many vitamins and so on. And those are probably the main things I could think of. Other vegetables that would be well up there. Any of the above ground vegetables, like to me, I love cauliflower and broccoli. I mean, those are just foods that I could eat. That easily, it's one of these things, if you're trying to replace a carbohydrate side dish, if you're thinking, okay, I have a bit of meat, and then in the past, you might say, well, I'll have to a lot of potato or rice. You could easily put cauliflower, broccoli, or something in there. That just totally takes the place of one of those. Just by making mindful food choices, the cancer risk can be reduced and a long-term healthy lifestyle can be achieved. Choosing whole nutrient-dense foods over these 4 cancer-promoting culprits can be a life-changing move for many individuals. Now let's talk about fasting. It is an essential part of a natural life. Many individuals see it as a harsh or extreme practice, but in reality it is deeply rooted in human history and has various health benefits. The term breakfast itself signifies breaking the fast, reinforcing that fasting is a natural daily cycle. Well, this concept is not just limited to English, but is found in other languages as well. Individuals should incorporate daily fasting periods of 12 to 14 hours. However, the fasting window can be extended occasionally to promote cleansing of the body and maintain a metabolic balance. Hold up. Did you know inflammation is one of the biggest causes of cancer, heart disease, and aging? And most people are making it worse with what they eat. And that's why I put together the anti-inflammation and immunity smoothie and inflammation boost immunity and help your body heal. Grab your copy now from the video description below. So if you are now eating constantly, so the minute you get up, somebody tells you, oh, you have to eat, you can't skip breakfast, blah, 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 blah. And then you have to snack all day long. So now if you look at studies, the average duration of how long people eat for, this is about 14 hours and 45 minutes. That's the average. So if you start eating at 8 a.m., make the like, you don't stop till 10:145 p.m. That's on average. That's the average. Well-known researchers such as Dr. David Sinclair and Dr. Peter Agaya highlight the role of fasting in extending lifespan. And fasting activates the body's cleaning state called autophagy, which is a process that helps in eliminating precancerous cells and reduces disease risk. The human body has two modes, growth mode and repair mode. The longevity is achieved when the body regularly shifts toward repair mode. This is accomplished through fasting. The growth mode works best for younger people, whereas older individuals should prioritize reducing food intake to enable the cell repair process. Caloric restriction is another approach to achieving longevity, but it's not a natural process and is also a challenging one. The human body has a mechanism that is designed to eat within a limit and naturally adjust itself to periods without food. Intermittent fasting is a more suitable approach, aligning perfectly with natural human biology. Managing to eat fewer calories on a daily basis can be a challenging situation for many individuals. It is easier for a lot of individuals to incorporate a structured fasting routine that follows a pattern of eating twice a day. Many individuals believe fasting will cause them to lose muscle mass. However, the reality is quite the opposite. The body primarily conserves muscle mass by using other energy reserves. Various organ systems such as the liver, kidneys, heart, and lungs adapt by reducing energy expenditure during the fasting period. Muscle mass gets preserved, especially when combined with regular physical activity. Even if an individual fasts, exercise continues to encourage muscle growth. The research studies have observed several benefits related to fasting for cancer patients. A study from Cedars-Sinai highlights that fasting selectively targets cancer cells. It makes them more vulnerable while supporting the healthy cells to become strong. The approach has ensured its effect when combined with conventional cancer treatments. Another research study published at the Cancer Center for Healing highlighted that fasting can improve the effects of chemotherapy and radiation therapy. Moreover, it reduces inflammation and slows down tumor growth. Now, this is how your food is feeding cancer. If you want a healthy cancer-free life, then you should take the necessary steps and move towards a healthy diet along with fasting. This ultimately cuts off the supply of sugar and other contents that primarily provide energy to cancer cells. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed watching it, then do give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, let us know your thoughts about it in the comments section. If you enjoyed watching it, then do give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, let us know your thoughts about it in the comments section.